Hello, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Uh, Good morning once again. Morning because it's morning where I am, but of course, good afternoon and good evening to some of you all who've actually joined us from different parts of the world. So, yes, a very, very good day to everyone, and welcome to Control F5 Online. This is our third online session, and we are very happy to actually have you all, and thank you for waiting patiently to allow us to start this event today. Um, we really hope that you guys are doing well and are safe in these challenging times. Our goal is to make sure that we are continuously providing you with product solutions and ways in which we can engage with you and help you upskill and learn through the safety of your homes in times like these. So uh, we really, really wish that you guys are doing well. Uh, so before I give you a quick brief of what the event is, just want to familiarize you guys with the panel itself. On the left side, you see how your desktop view is, and on the right side is the mobile view. What you can do with your panel is you can submit questions or comments using the question mark that you see either on your desktop or your mobile. And you can also raise your hand with the little hand icon that you see there. So before I say anything else, can you guys try raising your hand if you can hear me clearly? So I know that this is working and we all know how to use the panel and that you can hear me clearly. Just gonna wait, hoping to see a few hands. I'm seeing a few. I hope all of you can hear me. Okay, we got quite a bit there. Thank you guys. Great. If there's any problem, uh, just keep putting your questions there. And sorry, excuse me. At any time during the presentation, if you have any questions, you can keep putting them in the questions box. Uh, so let's move on. Uh, this is an important slide because we're going to take a few minutes and talk about why we actually do Control F5 and what exactly is the event. A lot of you are, so let me begin with some history. We actually started Control F5 in India many years back to actually meet some of you all face to face. Being in the digital industry, it's not always easy to meet, all of you and our partners face to face. So that's the intention we started it with, to meet you all, to give a face to the different names that we had heard, to actually take your feedback, to tell us more, to tell you guys more about what products are in pipeline, what are we doing. And we eventually expanded it to actually make it a platform to help you, your teams, learn, upskill, and actually, get more accustomed with the kind of products and technology and the kind of things we actually use in our industry. So we started this. We expanded it to different cities within the country itself. And 2020 is, of course, pushed us to think differently. I think all of us have been thinking differently about what can we do this year. And needless to say that all the events, especially, have had to rethink the way they conduct themselves. And that pushed us to actually think of, hey, why not online? And we've been doing that, and this is the third session of Control F5 online. And needless to say, this has opened up doors for us to move this event not only to other parts of India where we are not able to reach, but the whole world. And we're very, very happy with the kind of response we've been seeing through these different events that we've been doing. And we've had some great response today as well. I'm pretty sure that you guys are really interested in the topic that we have for today, and that we're really happy that we could bring to you something that excites you and that you're looking forward to learning. So that's the quick history of Control F5 and why we do it. Uh, this, of course, has made us also understand that it's something that we should continue doing on an ongoing basis, so that not only more of our clients can actually get the opportunity to, and we get the opportunity to talk to more and more of you all. So without further ado and without taking a lot more time, as you all know, the agenda for today is how to advertise your web business on Instagram and Facebook. I am looking forward to learning a little bit more than what I already know on this, and I hope you guys are too. So I'm going to hand this over to Aditya. I'll let him introduce himself, but quickly, he works with, he's a mentor at the Indian Institute of Digital Education. And over to Aditya, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Meenal, for introducing me. Greetings for the day and greetings for the evening for people in the far off sites. Um, if you can clearly hear me, I want all of you to type yes in your chat space. If you all can hear me, just type yes on your main chat space or in your question space. Okay. Perfect. Amazing. So let me tell you something more about. Let me tell you something more about me. I'm Aditya. I have been with IID for quite long duration of time. My expertise lies in content creation and advertising on social per se. Apart from that, I've been mentoring kids since last 3.5 years. I'm a visiting faculty in more than, um, let's say, 7 colleges. Been training young minds, professionals. Been taking corporate training as well. I just want all of you to be a part of this conversation with me. I just want to know which countries are you from. So if you could just mention which part of the countries are you from. So if you're from Maharashtra, India, or if you're from New York, US, if you could just mention that in your question space, will make it easy for me to understand where you come from. Come on, guys. We'll have to make this slightly quickly. Italy, Surat, Kolkata, Kochi, Jamshedpur, Chennai, Mumbai, Kenya, saw Nigeria as well. If you want to save democratic in the world, no idea to give Facebook. NYC, NY, Turkey, Zain. Okay, Zain, we want to know which country are you from? Okay, looks good to me. And apart from that, if you can also mention now, are you an owner of a particular web space, or are you a leading employee out there, or you have your own setup of venture which is not in the web space? If you could help me with that piece of information too, I'll be able to customize my training for you particularly. Marketing department, cosmetic business, technologies owner, social media manager, owner, my own business, entrepreneur, fantastic, trying to set up. Ravi, that's the exact space where you're supposed to type. Yeah, Rakesh, tell me. Providing web solutions. Okay. Fantastic. ISP in Ludhiana, entrepreneur in web development, blog in WordPress, partner employee in digital marketing agency. Looks good to me, guys. So thank you so much for your founded responses over here. Just in case if you guys want to have an interaction with me off the session, here's my Instagram handle. You guys can take a snap of it and start following me. And as I said earlier, I've been part of IIT for the longest duration of time. Been teaching digital marketing to younger kids. I've taught more than 5,000 professionals and youngsters at the same time. I'm a visiting faculty at multiple places. Apart from that, I'm a founder of a small setup called as That Indian Discourse. Have my own YouTube channel. We hit 2,000 subscribers some time ago. Started off really late in the month of May, and I'm a Rotaract alumnus as well. So understanding the fraternity across the globe is something that I'm really keen on. Well, the agenda for the day is set. We all know that we're going to study more about Facebook marketing and Instagram marketing. I want all of you guys to be aware of something, that Facebook marketing and Instagram marketing can be done by one platform itself. So a lot of times people have a concern that, hey, uh, can I can I market separately on Instagram and can I market separately on Facebook? Yes, that's possible through one platform, and that platform is called Facebook Ads Manager. I hope you guys are with me. I've got the decent idea of what kind of spaces you guys come from. There was no movement on screen because I was not playing as such, right? I didn't have much slides. I'm going to deep dive directly to something called as Facebook marketing. So I want all of you guys, in case if you have laptops along with you, I would appreciate if you guys could also do this along with me, right? Are you being able to see my screen? Someone from the organizers, if you can help me with it.
Yes, we
Can
can, Aditya. Thank you.
Perfect. There's an organizer space. If Jania, Jenny, in case if you guys are there, just be active quite there. It will become much easy for me to interact. Perfect. Now this is the segment where you have your own. This is your Facebook dashboard, and this is the space where people start seeing ads. I have a ad blocker per se right now because I have to go on third-party networks which are not so safe for understanding more. But this is your segment where you see a lot of ads from various resources. You might see over here as well Grammarly. Despite me having a Grammarly, Grammarly is trying to ask me to download one to have an updated version of it. Again, over here, Vimo is trying to advertise to me by saying, make a story, make an ad. Reason being, I am someone who produces content every now and then. So it's really keen on me. It's really important for me to have a software like that, which will make it easy for me to advertise and create videos, right? With that thought process, I want to, Kanjan, we'll get into it. We'll get into this segment. Just give me a while. Moving on. Whenever you see an ad, I want all of you to do this one practice. Click on this button 3, the 3-dotted button over here, and try and understand why are you seeing this particular ad. This is by far one of the best practices that you can ever do. Look out for what kind of ads are being shown to you. So over here, Vimo is trying to advertise to people who are on Facebook, who are interested in social media, online advertising, people who understand English, UK or US, and they're looking out for people who are more than 18 years old, right? Whenever you come across an advertisement which is really amazing, so some people might be wondering, how do we figure out whether this particular thing is an ad or not? Always look out for the sponsored tag. I'm sure your market leaders, you might be aware about this concept called as sponsored. These sponsored format are advertisements for which brands have paid to Facebook, and because of that, Facebook is trying to showcase it to its delivered or its ideal space of target audience. So just a small practice to start off this particular session. If you are on Facebook and if you are being able to see certain formats of ads, try doing this mechanism of clicking on 3 dots. Look at the parameters they're considering while targeting. And now we'll switch over to something called as paid marketing. But before we get into paid marketing, I want all of you to check out this one page which is called Google India. I'm taking Google India specific as an example. However, people from other countries can look out for other spaces of Google as well. That's not a problem at all. So yeah, over here, as you can see, 18th of August was the last day some piece of content was published by Google India, and there were about 481 likes. It's a strange thing that a brand that has 27 million followers is just getting 481 likes. Isn't this strange, people? If you feel so, just type yes, yes on chat. I'll understand that you've understood my point. Well, apparently, this is the same thing that's going to be there across as well. Over here, despite being a video format, you'll see about 499 likes. If you scroll further, oh my goodness, all of a sudden, this particular post has 74,000 likes. This particular post has 74,000 likes. How? How come this thing is possible? Here's the trick that we are going to learn today, and that's the magic of Facebook paid marketing. When a brand is normally getting 500, 600, 700 likes, it becomes really crucial for a brand to get a high rise in terms of the number of likes, number of comments, and number of, yeah, the content has to be engaging. I completely relate to that fact. However, we'll be focusing more on the paid aspect of it. Even if some content is engaging, there's a chance that people may not relate to it, and the virality of it gets declined. And for that, it's really crucial for us to boost them to spend some amount of money for the same. Cool. With this thought process, let's move on. Guys, you may see multiple tabs on it because I've kept everything ready for you so that we don't have to dig out certain things. So I'll be hovering around the tabs. Just let me know if you don't understand anything. We'll be more than happy to assist you for this. Right now, I'm moving towards a segment called as Ads Manager. Now, Ads Manager is the space where you can start advertising if you have a Facebook page. Now, if you have a Facebook page, how do you create a Facebook page? I'm sure that's a very simplified step. It's really crucial for you to integrate your Facebook page and your Instagram page. Just in case if you're wondering how do you go about that, in your Instagram itself, there's a section of connecting with Facebook. The minute you will do that, your Facebook page and your Instagram handle will get synchronized and you will be able to advertise on both these sections. Are you with me? So Puneet, we'll be reaching that segment right away. Just give us a while because I'm just introducing the ads part of it. So so specific audience groups and stuff, we will be getting there in like about 5 minutes from there. Nonetheless, the organic growth part of it we'll be covering at the end of the session. Right now, let's try and understand what are the 3 things that we need to know while setting up an ad campaign. So the first things first, you need to have an ads manager account. How can you access that? This is the link, Facebook Ads Manager. Okay, just in case if you're wondering, if you're new to Facebook and you don't know how to advertise, open up your normal Facebook dashboard. Somewhere on the left side over here, there's a small section called as Ads Manager. You see this ads? Just click on that and it will lead you to a similar space of Ads Manager. Right? So over here, I've kept this ready as Ads Manager. I'm going to click on this button called as Create. I would recommend all of you to do it along with me so that in case if you have any doubts, we can have a healthy discussion about it and then move on. Sure, with that, we'll try to make the most out of it. Cool. Moving on. Okay. I hope you guys can see a structure over here, which is called awareness, consideration, and conversion. Let me help you with these set of objectives. As a venture, it's really important for you to understand what kind of objective is required in order to advertise my consumers, right? We as digital marketers have this small set of practice to create a buyer persona before we start targeting. So let's say I want all of you to answer these 5 questions. In case if you have any notes, start answering these questions for yourself. My first question is, whom are we going to sell it to? Who's our end customer? That's my first set of questions. If you can answer it for yourself, amazing. So my first question is, whom are we selling the product to, or whom are we selling the service to? The second set of question is, why are we selling it to him? The third set of question is, does he need this particular product or service? Fourth, will similar set of people also consider your product or service? Last but not the least, what are the various platforms where I can start advertising them? So let's say some section of Instagram, some part of Facebook. What are the various platforms that I can utilize in order to ensure my ads deliver to my set of target audience or deliver to the right kind of target audience? If you can answer these 5 questions, it will lead you to understand. Like for example, as IID, we look out for children between 19 and 22 who are in their graduation phase. They're studying at colleges. They consume content on Netflix. They tend to read or watch a lot of video content. Possibly they are inclined towards a lot of gossips and technological updates, and they're quite interested in making their career in the digital marketing space, right? So these are the parameters we keep in mind, and that's when we start realizing who is our target audience and how do we apply this space of target audience. It's just matter of time, and we'll be there. Over here on the dashboard, you'll be able to see some 11 odd objectives, 2 in the awareness section, 6 in the consideration space, and 3 in the conversion space. Right? Now, what are these 3 objectives? The first one is awareness. So let's say you are new. A lot of people don't know you. Some people over here have established business. They are in 23 countries. But there's a chance that I may not be aware of your business because I preferably feel comfortable to buy it from Hosting Raja or maybe GoDaddy of the world, right? So even if you're present in multiple countries, or let's say you're not present in any of these countries and you're just recently starting, it's really crucial for you to understand that people don't remember your brand, or people are not aware about your brand. And since people are not aware about your brand, it's really important for you to create that awareness in the minds of those users. It's really crucial for you to have awareness made for that particular set of users. So let's say, I'll give you a very simple example. Between the age group of 18 and 21, there are a lot of students who study media and would love to create new blogs. So let's say your business is new and you want to identify your fastest buying customers. You can consider this age group of 18 and 21. People who are interested in blogging, people who are interested in creating their own websites, people who are interested in creating their own e-commerce stores, and people who are interested in in media studies and these kind of things. And it's really crucial for you as a brand to start advertising to such set of users, and you need to create the space of awareness. And that's why this section of awareness is there for you. Have you guys understood till here? The 5 questions part of it, we'll get it done at the end of the session now. Since we are in a flow, let's focus on the flow right now. Can I hear a yes from audience? Have you understood awareness? Okay, guys, I'll tell you one thing. Let me make you understand. Why am I asking you to respond to certain things? It becomes easy for me to understand that are we going in a flow or not, right? So with courtesy, if you could just type a yes or a no, it will become easy for me to move forward in the session. The next space in the entire session is called consideration. Now, what's this consideration all about? Let me give you a simple example. If given a choice to you, where would you buy your domains and hostings from? Where would you buy your hosting and domains from? You might have your own preferences. You might have top 6-7 brands in your mind. Like for example, I would consider GoDaddy, Hosting Raja, WebVerge, domains, f5.com. All these 5-6 brands would be there in my mind. But eventually, only one of them is going to be my consumer. Yes, this is exactly the phase that I'm trying to talk about. When a user is confused between 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, you can buy it from Resellers Club, you can buy it from BigGrok, you can buy it from Namecheap, or let's say you want to buy it from cloud servers, you want to buy it from what do we say, Nightcloud. All of these, there are multiple formats of websites where you can buy from, correct? Right, you can even buy AWS per se. So all of us, that's amazing that you guys are spending so much amount of money in Resellers Club, because you trust this brand. There's a chance you would love to reinvest in the same particular brand. And with that concept, consideration is more about having trust in that one brand out of the 10 brands that we have. So let's say you go and search online, buy running shoes, and there's Nike, there is Puma, there is Adidas, there is Fila, there is Umbro, there is HRX, and there are all these brands over there, and you feel like buying it from only one of them. And you feel like buying only from one of them. And that's the exact space that you're talking about. It's considering your brand. It's creating that sense of consideration in the minds of users. Is that clear to all of you? I've just sorted my internet connection because some people were saying my video is not. Suresh, just try Facebook Ads Manager on chat. It is quite announced and it's visible on my link as well over here. It's right here, Facebook Ads Manager. Just type this much and you'll be there. Okay, moving on. If you're a new brand, as simple as that, you start with the consideration stage, you start with the awareness stage. If you are a known brand, or let's say you are an existing brand, people know you start in the consideration stage. What do you do in the consideration stage? We'll get back to that in like 5 minutes from now. And the last part is conversion stage. Conversion stage is only for those users who have sales. Like you want to focus on sales. You want maximum people to buy your product. Conversion is only for them. For you guys, catalog and store traffic is not at all important, or only your main focus is going to be conversion. Now, I hope I've given you justification of awareness, consideration, and conversion. Now, let me tell you more about specifics within those, which will help you choose which one to utilize while marketing or advertising. So, before we do that, it's really crucial for you to understand one concept. One concept. I'm sure all of you have Instagram. I'm sure all of you have Facebook. Over there, we come across certain terms like reach and impressions. Have you anytime come across these terms? If you have, just kindly type it for me. Fantastic. Some people have already heard of these terms called as reach and impression. Now, what is the correlation between them? Let's try and figure that thing out. The correlation between reach and impression is the reach refers to individual users. So let's say if I push content, if I push an ad, or if I push a video, it goes to specific set of people. These specific set of users are unique. So let's say when someone is giving a speech and there are 1,000 people over there, those 1,000 set of people are unique users who are listening to them, and that's considered to be reach. Similarly, when you're pushing some content on social media, if 600 people is the if you see reach as 600, those are unique users. But at times you'll see something called as impressions. Now, what are these impressions all about? These impressions are nothing but some number of people looking at your content more than once. Now, what do I mean by that? Sometimes your reach is 600 and your impression is 720. Why is that so? Because there is a chance some people might have seen that content or seen that particular set of advertisement more than once. It's simple. You're walking by a major station near your area, or let's say you're walking by a major metro station near your area, or you go to a mall and you find a big hoarding. Numerous number of people pass through that particular hoarding, and there's a chance that they may see that hoarding on a regular basis. For example, if a hoarding is there for 7 days, one user may see it 7 times in those 7 days. And that's exactly the correlation between reach and impression. The formula for reach and impression is reach multiplied by frequency is equal to impression. Reach multiplied by frequency is equal to impressions. I'm repeating once again. Reach multiplied by frequency is equal to impressions. No, Prem, it's not so. The explanation that you have given is not quite appropriate. I hope now the justification is quite clear. Now, what happens when you are choosing brand awareness? When you're choosing brand awareness, so let's say you are focusing on some 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people will see your content more than 5 times. In brand awareness, the focus is more on the frequency. And in reach, the focus is more on the number of people looking at content. For example, in India, there's a brand called Jio. Jio is a leading telecom sector brand which has got 4G in India. So when Jio is trying to advertise to people, it focuses on maximum number of people looking at the ad. Whereas if I'm a small player in the market and I want to capture only a particular section of the society, I will consider brand awareness as my objective. Have you understood the difference between brand awareness and reach? So all you guys who are into the business of selling more content to people, who are in the business of selling who are in the business of selling, domains to a certain set of people. And let's say if your category is niche, let's say you only want to focus on e-commerce people, or you want to only focus on people who are into restaurant management, or let's say you only want to focus on people who are inclined towards creating content, like they are like BuzzFeeds of the world, they're like Scoop Oops of the world. You want to advertise to a specific set of people, you want to make them aware about your brand, you need to stick to awareness. And since your brand might be known to certain category of people, like for example, Puma is a known brand, right? GoDaddy is a known brand. Raw Pressery is a known brand. Nike is a known brand. All these brands keep on trying to advertise to set of users so that they can capture another set of market. How do they do that? By doing 6 activities over here. A, they get traffic on their website. The best thing that all of you can do is get traffic on your website. Not just that, you can get traffic on your app as well. Let's say your brand has an app, you can get users on your app. Apart from that, if you want users to come on your WhatsApp, a lot of businesses these days have something called as business WhatsApp for business, and it's really crucial for you to interact with your client on one-on-one basis. If you want users to come on your website, on your app, or last but not the least, you want them to come on your web WhatsApp, you want them to interact with you on WhatsApp for business, you can avail that thing via traffic. I'm sure, Harsh, we'll consider pricing part at the end of the session. We still have about 45 more minutes for that, so let's wait for it for some time. So let's say Resellers Club is one of the major space and wants to acquire more of domains, right? Reseller Club is one of your major domain space and it wants to acquire more and more customers for domain. Now, in order to showcase multiple pricing strategies with their space, they can use something called as traffic, right? The second thing, if Reseller Club is trying to upload content on daily basis, I'm sure when I was showing you that content of Google, which got 74,000 likes, I'm trying to show you that content of Google, which had 74,000 likes. In case if you're wondering how they got those 74,000 likes, they had this objective called as engagement. And because of that, post engagement. So my one post got maximum number of likes. Does that make sense? So let's say in the near future, there's going to be Diwali in India. And Resellers Club is trying to push content and they want to engage with their consumers who celebrate Diwali. Or let's say they want to globally wish people Merry Christmas. They can do this activity of post engagement. A lot of times people feel, hey, it's casual if you're wishing your consumers. Remember one thing, it's not just about selling on social media. It's also about considering your own user, your own consumer who is trying to follow your brand and trying to relate with your brand. So you might be wishing them Eid Mubarak, you might be wishing them Merry Christmas, you could be wishing them anything which is contextual with your own country. It's really important for you to utilize this concept called as post engagement. Another lesser known fact in the world is about page likes. Now, what do we mean by page likes? There's a perception in the market, lesser number of likes on a page, the brand may not be so known in the world. Lesser number of likes on a page, that basically means the brand may not be so known in the world. That's why it's really crucial for you to have page likes. So all the startups over here, here's a small piece of advice. Run campaigns that can get you more page likes. Run campaigns that can get you more page likes. Are you with me? Fantastic. The next thing is app installs. Not sure if your brand has an app, but this is something you can give as an additional advising services to your clients as well. just in case if you're in a hybrid section of providing social media as well along with some website and domains, there could be a possibility wherein you could be a full-fledged agency and you also take up projects in terms of app development along with website development. You want installation of applications for your users. This is what you need to utilize. And let me tell you a secret. In India, app installs can go as low as $50. You can get an app installed just by paying 30 bucks. And if people are wondering 30 rupees is a high number, let me tell you one thing. If you do the same thing on Twitter, that may cost you about 120 bucks. For downloading an app, when you are advertising, let's say your budget is about 100 rupees, with 30 rupees being spent, there can be one download of an app. So let's say I am Zomato and I'm advertising to users. For one download, my costing could be about 30 bucks. And that's extremely important. The next thing, which is grossing in the industry, and majority of the marketers miss out on doing this, especially the ones in the B2B segment and in the B2C segment, is video views. Let me tell you something. It was said that video is going to be the top grossing thing in 2020. Apparently, video has been the top grossing thing since 2018. And it's not going to go anywhere until 2022. If your brand can produce video content and prove merits to your opposite party, there's a chance that users may feel comfortable with your content. One major thing that you need to do as a service provider is to make your user feel really more comfortable. If your user is feeling more comfortable while availing your brand, it will become really easy for you to have them converted as a consumer. And what could be a better mechanism rather than converting them through a video? Hence, if you want to enhance trust of your users, try utilizing the video view as a strategy. Moving on, lead generation. Now, since most of you are into the web development section, I'm not sure if you would be really keen on lead generation as a segment. However, it's really crucial for you to acquire leads. And at the end of the day, your venture is also dependent on leads. Any small or huge format of business is looking out for potential business. It's looking out for potential buyer. And I'll tell you the best part. Just in case if you have your mobile phones, I want all of you to look out for this concept called as instant articles. And this is one thing that is not so known in the industry and a lot of users don't use it. Instant articles is a major concept which is accessible only on mobile phones. It's similar to something called as accelerated mobile pages on Google. I'm sure when you're looking out for news articles, there's a small Thunderbolt sign that you come across. When you come across the Thunderbolt sign, people have a tendency of clicking on it, and then boom, the article is loaded under 1 second. Now imagine this if that caliber of work is also done on Facebook and Instagram. Yes, you can generate leads without having a website. Your team can actually give a call and assist your users, your potential customers, by this mechanism of lead generation. And the best part, the user doesn't need to even type his name, number, and email ID. The user the user can submit the name, number, and email ID without even typing. The best part about this lead generation space is it's automated in nature. You don't need to make them type. All they have to do is just click on the button submit, and all your data has gone to the party on the opposite side. Messages is not something that I would recommend you as a venture. Store traffic is not something that I would recommend you as a venture. Catalog sales is also something that I wouldn't recommend you as a venture, but I will definitely recommend you to have something called as conversions. Conversions involves sales. So let's say I am trying to sell you a domain. Reseller Club is trying to sell you a domain, and it wants to understand how many people are clicking on the button purchase or buy now or shop now. It also wants to understand how many people are clicking on the button add to cart. So when these factors come into play, you would love to analyze the amount of data. I understand huge ventures might get 1,000 people coming on their website, right? But even if you're a small space of venture, if 300, 400 people are coming on your website, it's really crucial for you to understand how many people are coming on my website, how many people are clicking on buy button, how many people are clicking on the add to cart button, and all of these will help you understand more of data. And that playing of data can be done through this campaign called as conversion. Instant article is shown via phones, so I'll show that at the end of the session. Sagar, to give you an answer for that, Twitter is a slightly costlier space in comparison to Facebook, and that's why it's really crucial for you to run some amount of money through advertising, and only then you'll understand the pricing strategy. And if not, you can consult this this platform called as Ad Espresso. It's not into the venture of domain selling, but they definitely guide you on how to advertise. Cool. Moving on, let's try and understand with this basic concept of traffic and move on in this entire section. So some people were talking about A/B testing at the beginning space. Campaign name, see, this is for your reference. However you want to name your campaign. You want to name your campaign as Sale 101. You want to name your campaign as discount 40% off. You want to name your campaign as flat 30% off. You can name the way you want to, because this is not going to be seen to your external people. This is only for your reference. Just want to hear that lead generation is a part of conversion. Conversion is the overall statistics of how many people are clicking on purchase, how many people are clicking on buy, how many people are clicking on add to cart and stuff. Whereas lead generation is gathering just the data. Vatsal, the future of ads arbitrage is amazing because there are third-party platforms as well coming into the picture. I think you should be keen on learning the third-party platforms more. It will really help you out. Moving on, some people wanted to know about A/B testing. Because A/B testing is nothing but, let's say I am McDonald's and I want to advertise to two set of people. I'm McDonald's and I want to advertise to youngsters 18 to 24. And at the same time, I want to advertise to 30 to 35. Both of that thing is possible when you're choosing traffic as an objective and you click on this segment called as A/B testing. It allows you to choose how you want to change your ad. Do you want a different format of picture to go to that set of audience, or you want two separate audiences altogether? So that's the major role of A/B testing. You can utilize that. Moving on. I covered engagement. Abhishek, I'll do that at the end of the session. Product sales conversions, and there's no guarantee. Let me tell you one thing: Facebook won't guarantee you sales. It depends on factors like targeting. It depends on factors like landing pages. It also depends on the factors like how your creative is. So we'll get to that section in some time from now. Let's say you want people to come on your website. Moving on, you want to set up your target audience. So let me take an example over here. Let's say I want to advertise to people who are from Bombay. Now I want to advertise to all those set of people who are in Bombay. It's easy. As you can see over here, India had a population of about 34 crore people. Right now it's showing about, this is right now 1 crore 50 lakh. That translates to about 1.15 million people. So how can I reduce this figure? It's very simple. I first need to visualize who's my target audience. So let's say I want to advertise to people who are founders of companies. So let me consider an age group of 21 to let's say 30. I won't be gender specific over here. As I can see, the city of Bombay has about 70 lakh people who are between the age group of 21 and 30. Now, I want to understand how can I advertise to them if they are founders or not. Very simple. And one of the most important techniques in Facebook marketing that people don't use is this. It's called demographics, interests, and behavior. It's called demographics, interests, and behavior. It's really crucial for you to choose all these objectives in order to, some of these objectives in order to ensure that you get maximum output. Now, what are demographics? Demographics is something that you have given to Facebook. Now, what do we mean by you have given to Facebook? You have given your date of birth, you have given your experience, you have given your education, you have given your marital status, you have mentioned about where were you born and where are you living currently. So all of these concepts play an important role, right? All of these concepts play an important role when it comes to advertising to set of users. Some people even have job designations. So we consider all of these factors. Let's say I want to focus on founder. So you can see over here, job titles is founder. And I click on suggestions. I can tap on owner, founder, owner, CEO, owner, managing director, and founder. All of these things, which makes you understand that these people are in the segment of making a purchase decision. Are you guys with me? Yeah, I'm getting there. Harsh, just give me a minute. I'll just get there. We'll also be focusing on a smaller segment of people. So you can see over here, there are 36,000 people in the city of Bombay between the age of 21 and 30 who have mentioned that they are managing directors, founders, owners, CEOs, and all of these. Is this the set of audience you would like to target? Is this the set of audience you would like to target? Okay, Siddhant, if this is not the set of audience that you want to target, maybe you can come up with a different age group. Let's say you want to come up with an age group of 33 to let's say 45. You can do that. There's no harm in that as well. It really depends on what do you want to choose and how do you want to target. There's no restriction for it. The only restriction that I have is don't try and target 18-year-old and a 45-year-old at the same time. Me and my father don't think alike. The way I have a need of a business, the way I have a need of a website is not the similar mechanism with my father. So you can see over here, between the age group of 33 and 45, there are 50,000 people. There are 50,000 users. These numbers are not 100% genuine. However, these are the only set of numbers that you already have, right? On LinkedIn, if you do this, it's far more genuine because on LinkedIn, no one will fake their own identity. And how are Facebook getting their own? How are Facebook getting all of these designations? They are the one. Users are the one who are feeding that insight. Now, let's say you're not comfortable in advertising to. Let's say you're not comfortable in advertising to owners per se. You want to advertise to people who are in a particular set of industry. Be rest assured about that as well. That even that is covered over here. So let's say in the section of demographics, you want to advertise to people who work in a particular industry. So according to you, architecture and engineering people are the ones who would need a website. If you feel business and finance people would need a website. You feel community and social services would need it. You feel education needs it. If you feel healthcare will require it, with obvious reasons, don't try and target IT and technical services. You'll start advertising to your own competitors. So it's like a reseller club trying to advertise to GoDaddy, which is really not so great. You want to advertise to people who are into sales, transport, and moving. So you can start advertising on the basis of the industries as well. If you want to sell it on a real estate property, even that is possible. But guys, I'm just showing you the variations that are available over here. Does that make sense? Perfect. Moving on. This is the way how you can advertise to people. I have a small recommendation to all of you. Since you are small setup of ventures, or even if you are a large corporate house, don't try and advertise to more than 5 lakh, 6 lakh people. I'll tell you why. The minute you start doing that, A, your budgets are small. Since your budgets are small, it becomes really tedious for you to advertise to people who have larger set of target audience. So when you start advertising them, your money is going to get wasted. And who in this world wants to waste advertising money? At the end of the day, advertising money is going to get you sales. And since advertising money is going to get you sales, are going to get you leads, it's really crucial for you to not advertise each and every one, considering, hey, everyone in this world is my target audience. No, it's not so. It's not at all so. The second thing that you need to consider while targeting a particular audience is the behavior part of it. Now, let's say you are not into the segment of selling a domain per se, but let's say you're consulting your clients and you want to target people who have higher purchasing capacity. So what we do is we have a tendency of something called as consumer classification. That's the best thing about Facebook. It helps you identify consumers depending on their purchase capacity or depending on their preferences towards a product or a service. As soon as you click on this, over here, I've taken India as an example. If your country is listed over here, you can see UAE, Turkey, South Africa, Philippines, Pakistan, Malaysia, Saudi, Indonesia, Chile, Brazil, and Argentina. These are the spaces where you can advertise. In India, if I want to advertise to people who prefer high value goods, I'll click on these and you can see a consequent effect coming on the right side over here. 1 lakh, it's 1 million people. It's 1 million people. 1 million people have purchasing capacity that you can advertise. Siddharth, the advertisement budget can be as low as 80 bucks as well, not as 900. A lot of people feel advertising is expensive. I consider that fact, but it can start as low as 80 bucks as well. So this is how you can target people who have higher spending capacity. Now, how do we know whether they're interested in real estate or not? There's a small technique that you can use, and that's called narrow audience. Now, what happens with a narrow audience? Let's say I want to know whether they are interested in real estate. Okay, they are interested in property. They are interested in real estate investment. They are invested in luxury property. They are invested in investment. They are interested in what do we say? Luxury goods per se. Okay, I'll ignore this factor of luxury goods for I mean. But yeah, guys, that's how you can target if you're a real estate brand, right? Similarly, if you are into fashion, let's say you are into fashion, you want to target female who are into fashion. All you have to do is click on women, people who prefer high value goods, just search for a fashion brand called Nykaa or similar set of brands. Does that make sense? This is Bombay only. Bombay has about 110,000 people. So that's 110,000 people who are interested in Nykaa and have the spending capacity at the same time. Is detailed targeting expansion feature good? Not at all. You shouldn't do that at all. Car rentals, just choose it. yeah, you feel that people, some people wanted to target Android phones, right? All you have to do is just search for Android. Yeah, do you see this Facebook access with mobile Android devices? So let's say there are about 29 lakh people between the age of 33 and 45 who have Android devices. You can start advertising them in this particular way. Yeah. So hosting business, you mean to say web hosting business? I just showed you an example. Yet I'll show you. People who are interested in e-commerce business, e-commerce. People are interested in Shopify. People who are interested in dropshipping. People who are interested in WooCommerce. Right? You can consider all of these people. So between 33 and 45, there are about 550,000. That's about 550,000 men who are interested in dropshipping, e-commerce, Shopify, and WooCommerce. You can start advertising to them and sell all your services. Does this make sense to all of you? So if you're a car dealer, no worries, just choose the brand name of the car. Let's say you want Maruti. Okay, so people are interested in Maruti Suzuki. All you have to do is just click on narrow audience, and do they have the spending capacity? People who prefer mid and high. Uh, there you go. 180,000 users in this particular city are the ones who have what do we say? This entire segment of purchasing this particular product. Does this make sense to all of you? Right? So if you're online classes, your interest will be people interested in online teaching or that particular subject. For us, for example, we have digital marketing, right? The numbers keep on varying over here and there. If you want to reach them in 2 days campaign, let me show you a mechanism. Let's say if I want to reach out to this 180,000 people, before we get into the budgeting segment, I want to show you something called as placements. Now, what is this placements all about? I can define where I want to show my ads. Now, let's say over here, I want to advertise only on Instagram. I can do that. Yo, these are the 58,000 people who have an Instagram account. Or let's say if I only want to advertise on Facebook, I don't want to advertise anywhere else. Fine, not a big deal. There are 180,000 people who are there on Facebook. But let's say I want to advertise on both the platforms at the same time. All I have to do is choose both of these platforms. That's how you can advertise both set of people at the same time. People who have upcoming birthdays and friends, you can utilize them in case tourism company start utilizing interest as Tripoto, Trivago, Travel XP, not Men's XP, uh, Yatra, Make My Trip, all of these, Ixigo and all of these. Sadek, I just showed it. I just showed about how can you do a hosting services. And Prem had a couple of questions. Wait, 1 second. Where are those? FB page and major like hiking rates, business. So Prerna, to answer first question of yours, just start advertising through page likes and let the numbers grow in. And the second thing that you have asked me is posting in Facebook frequently or posting in articles like article submission sites. Both. It depends on what kind of resources do you have. If you have both, then start with Facebook instant articles and start getting third-party platforms as well to start writing for you. What do you suggest for artists? Similar side of thing. Over here, people interested in paintings, artists, song, music, and all of these. By advertising on multiple platforms, can it have a negative impact? Preferably, you should advertise on Instagram and Facebook separately. What about website development business? Guys, are you paying slight attention? Because I just showed it. Like hosting, web hosting, then you can have web development. You can have domain service. Yeah, you can have subdomain, domain registration, domain.com. These are the set of people that you can start advertising to. And for a matter of fact, I started with web services and hostings. Audience network platform is any app that is registered with Facebook in order to advertise. You want to sell artwork on your own website, start advertising to people who are really rich. What do you suggest for an engineering company? Now it depends what kind of a product are you trying to sell. If it's relevant for people who are into L&T and stuff, then you can start advertising them on LinkedIn instead of Facebook. Because Facebook is not the ideal space to do that, in my opinion. Just give me a second. I'm just coming up with a small case study. Sachin, you'll have to ask your question again because your question is quite lost in this particular segment. Tapan, to answer your question, LinkedIn is much better your space. 50-50 always frame. Depends where your target audience is. If your target audience is available more on, what do we say? If your target audience is there on Facebook, then you start advertising to them on Facebook. But if you feel they're on Instagram, then you start advertising on Instagram. Is it necessary to have Facebook page, instant pages to run social media pages? Facebook page, yes. Instant pages, no. Yeah, you can lead them to a website, but in order to run a website, in order to run an ad, you need a Facebook page. Without having a Facebook page, you cannot lead them to a website. How do you get best idea of keywords? Probably you should attend an SEO or a search engine marketing class. That will help you out. Want to run a campaign for client who sells water purifiers? Simple, just target females. That's it. Start targeting females. That's how you can work about. Okay, moving on. I want to show you how you can work on the budget segment of it. So let's say I want to target, I hope you guys can see my screen. I'm trying to target women who have interest in kitchen. So yeah, so that's 430,000 women who are interested in kitchen. You can add water purifiers over there itself. Now, some people are wondering, how can I target this 430,000 people at one go? Remember one thing, whatever daily budget that you have. So some people feel it's too costly. You can start as low as 80 bucks, right? When you're spending 80 rupees, this can depend on the currencies that you are in a specific country. So Italy will have a specific thing. NY will have a specific dollar. Italy will have euros. Nigeria will have its own currency. Your currency will be dependent over here. What you can do is, Girish, just start targeting their age group. That's enough for them. So let's say I can start as low as 80 rupees. That's 80 rupees is nothing but converted equivalent to $1. All you need is $1. But remember one thing, in that 80 bucks, in that 80 rupees, you can only advertise to 500 to 1,400 people. Do you see this numbers over here? 501 to 1400. That basically means you will be able to advertise between 1,000 people, 900 to 1,000 people. And that's extremely important for you to know. And apart from that, you'll get about 70 to 27 clicks. Remember one thing, if there are 1,900 people you are advertising, only 1% of those users will click on your ad. Some people have higher expectation in terms of digital marketing, but I'm telling you out of experience. When you are advertising on Facebook and Instagram, Instagram might have a slight higher percentage of click rate. However, Facebook will have a slightly lower percentage of click rate. But it really matters what kind of a creative are you making. Does that make sense? So that's how you can set up your budget. If I make this 800 rupees over here, you can see 5,000 to 14,000. So that's about 20,000 people. 20,000 divided by 2 is 10,000. If I spend 800 rupees, my content, my ad can go up to 10,000 people. Now, this is something that you're doing out of virtue. You are advertising to users who have already been there. I have a smaller recommendation for all of you. Why not to advertise to users who have already interacted with your business? And for that, you need something called as audience. Over here, there's this small section called as custom audience. I want all of you to explore this particular section. And guys, remember one thing, I have last 10 minutes saved only for your Q&As. So I'm trying to cover up my topic so that it can become much easy for all of you. And since most of you come from a web development business, I have a small technique as well for all of you. This is the space where you can start advertising to users who have already interacted with your business. So let's say if you have a customer database, you can upload it over here. And the customer database can be advertised again. Let's say you are advertising them. They already have domains. Now you're trying to sell them SSL certificates. Or let's say they have already purchased a flat from you. Now you're trying to sell them more amenities. Let's say they have made an investment in gold. Now you're trying to sell them other investment opportunities. Let's say they have already registered with you for some piece of content or some piece of product or service, and you are now giving them an extension. It's like an Apple trying to sell you for AirPods, for HomePods, or for MacBooks. So if you're an iPhone user, they try and sell you another set of business or products and services as well, right? So you can advertise to people who came on your website through something called as Facebook Pixel. You can advertise to people who came on your app, who reacted or interacted with your app. You can advertise to all those users who interacted with your Instagram profile as well. So let's say I want to advertise to all those people who came on my profile last 15 days ago, right? All people, everyone who visited my business profile. Now remember one thing I've said, business profile. So private accounts are not appreciated. You need to have an open forum. You need to have a business profile. You need to have a professional account. Only if you have a professional account, you can advertise to users who interacted with you in the last 15 days on your Instagram profile. And guys, let me tell you one thing. There's a higher chance of increase in your sales if you start remarketing to your users. Mind you, the cost of remarketing is slightly higher than your normal tendency of business. So if something is costing you 10 rupees on Facebook, yeah, your cost per click, a user clicking on your ad can go as low as 10 rupees. And it can go as high as 30 rupees. And I'm referring to rupees, I'm referring to INR, Indian National Rupee. That's the costing of Facebook. And mind you, you can only get this eventual point of time. So Mandeep, to answer your question, I had already showed you that people who prefer high value goods, those are the set of people whom you need to advertise to. Does that make sense? No, you won't get every day the same audience when you're spending 80 bucks. You'll get different set of audience on daily basis. I hope you guys have understood the point of remarketing. Does that make sense? Perfect, thanks. Moving on. It's really crucial for you to set up the timeline. I have a small recommendation for all of you over here. Don't run your campaigns for more than 10-12 days. Don't run your campaigns for more than 10-12 days. Reason being, the way you don't like to see a commercial again and again and again, if it becomes annoying for the user. Until and unless you don't change your creative strategy, don't have a campaign run for more than 10 to 12 days. And the other set of thing that is really going to be important for all of you is something called as a landing page. After setting up your targeting, after setting up your budgeting, it's really crucial for you to set up the landing page. Now, what do I mean by landing page? Landing page is nothing but the destination page where a user is going to come. For example, we at IID have created a landing page for all the students who look out for a digital marketing course. I'm just showing you one example, and you can change it according to your need of industry. it's really crucial for you to have 10 pointers in a landing page while you are generating leads for your business. The first thing that you need to have, a landing page cannot be similar to a home page. Since it cannot be similar to a home page, it cannot have a clickable logo. Why not to have a clickable logo, or why not to have a clickable footer? There's a chance a user may just bounce off your website. So the first and foremost rule of a landing page is not to have any clickable item on your website, such as headers, footers, logos, or social media links. In other words, no exit pointers. Second most important thing that you need to have is a copy. Now, what's a copy? The copy is over here. The copy is the thing that defines the communication with the opposite party. Along with the complementary copy, it's really crucial to have a lead generation form. It said 70% of the websites having a lead generation form does a better job in comparison to others. You can generate people's name, number, and email ID. If your businesses are smart, you can even come up with an OTP mechanism in order to see whether a lead is legit or not. Third thing, try communicating your USPs. Try getting your clientele's trust. Try showcasing some testimonials. Show credibility why someone should trust you. If possible, try having your mobile number over here so that people can call you. I don't recommend you to do it that way, but just in case if your business gets a lot of calls on daily basis, you can even add a mobile number over here. We removed it because we want our users to be called and we don't want users to call us. We want a reverse mechanism. The other thing that you need to do is you need to connect your own landing pages with something called a CRM. There are multiple formats of CRM available in the market. You can opt for CRMs. Ensure that your landing pages are quick to load. So if Reseller Club is trying to sell you mechanisms which is giving you security, which is giving you SSL certificates, avail them. That's really crucial for you to have them because that will increase the trust of your website, and Facebook will feel, Instagram will feel that it's important to have fast loading websites. Ensure that your website is loading under 3 seconds. Now, this may not be possible for brands which are into e-commerce space, but definitely consult to your internet service provider. When you consult with your internet service provider, they will give you certain tips and tricks of how to reduce code, on how to reduce JavaScript, and how to make your websites more friendly. Does that make sense? Last but not the least, ensure your UI, UX, and the color scheme of your website is extremely appealing. If it's gaining trust of your consumer, there's a higher chance that they will start trusting your brand and give leads to your brand. Last but not the least, I want all of you to check out something called as Facebook Ads Library. I am not touching this pointer over here right now. Reason being, it will elongate our webinar unnecessarily, and I want all of you to get crisp knowledge on how to get inspiration from your brand. Let's say your brand is Dunzo, or let's say your competitor is Dunzo. Try and looking out for what kind of advertisements are they doing, and accordingly you can define your strategy. Like over here, they have a copy. Over here, they have a logo. Over here, they have something called as a creative copy, which is a text within the creative. They have a call to action button. They have a headline and a detailer. All of these become really important for you while running an ad campaign. You can set all of these things over here. You can write the text over here saying COVID special, avail 30% off. You can even add 5 options. And last but not the least, you can add media. Now, what do I mean by media? You can upload images that you have designed. If not, you can even utilize the ones that you have already posted. I hope all of these would make sense, right? So these are the mechanisms that you need to take care of while advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Last but not the least, I want all of you to focus on something called as organic marketing. Now, what is organic marketing? I'm going to show you a couple of examples who could be aligned with the brand, or there's a chance that they could not be aligned with the brand as well. But it's always great to seek some kind of inspiration from the industry, and that's why we'll be focusing on the industry segment as well. Just give me a second. I'm just going to hook them up. The first and foremost thing that you need to do as a brand, see over here, Reseller Club is trying to tell you, why are you still using HDD when the entire industry is moved towards SSD? You need to ensure while you're producing content, you provide value to your users. The minute you start providing value to your users, users will feel more comfortable with your brand. Remember one thing, it's not just about selling, it's about making them realize that something that they're doing is not actually going right? So remember one thing, try providing value in your organic social media space. If your brand can be slightly more funky, slightly more approachable, try being like that. It becomes really crucial for a lot of people to feel more comfortable. So while you're producing organic content, remember, you are not selling, you are trying to engage with your consumers. And the minute you start engage with your consumers, people will feel more comfortable and they'll start interacting with you further. Providing value through written content. These days, people have started something called as video bites. The major example in the industry is Instagram Reels. If you can utilize Instagram Reels and convey your message within 15 seconds, even better. Facebook is for the set of audience which is more of a matured space. You can even try opting for some people who are slightly less known, but they do great piece of content. Like this is one of the competitors of Reseller Club. However, it's a slightly fresher brand. It may not be able to provide you as much business as Reseller Club does. But what I like about them, they produce content which is going to be really engaging with the user. They're trying to relate to people. You can see over here, there is money heist that they are talking about. Over here, they're talking about they're trying to give some creative solution to people. Over here, they're talking about UI and UX. The minute you will start giving value to your users, over here, they're trying to talk about 5 ways of doing SEO and design. How can they be combined together? Just in case if you are an agency, you can give tips, tricks, and trends. You can give users some kind of guidance on how can you go about making some beautiful set of content. If you review their set of business on what do we say, on Instagram mobile, you'll be able to see they have produced video content wherein they even make you understand how can you create social media designs. In case if you're a brand, you can look out for brands like Amul, Raw Pressery, Khan Academy. You can even check out IID's Instagram handle, right? We continuously try and provide value. Similarly, there's a social arm agency over here. They're trying to have Instagram profile checklist. What are the essentials that you need to have? How is it important for you to target interest groups? You can go as start as 500 rupees for Amazon. Your social media setup can be done at about 4,000 rupees a month. Similarly, you can try providing case studies. You can analyze other people's brand and how is it important for you to have this thought process going on. So, this is YouTube India. Over here, people were talking about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, an Indian cricketer who just retired. KFC doing some fantastic work, right? So you can review some brands' work as well if that allows you to grow in the space, right? Lastly, there are certain tips and tricks that I would like to leave you guys while creating content. The first things first, you need to produce stories on a daily basis, even if you're a brand. Instagram stories is something that you cannot miss out on because you can reach up to 40% of your audiences just through Instagram stories. Creating Instagram reels will reach you in the explore section, and people have a tendency of coming from the explore section to your profile. Start producing Instagram reels. That's going to be really relevant for you. Try doing postings every alternate days, 3 days a week. Postings will really help you grow. Remember one thing, while providing any format of content, it's really crucial to think whether a user will share my content or not. If the user is going to share your content, I think then you're doing a fantastic job. You can refer to accounts like KCMC Perry, who try to create grids. You can also look out for Sabyasachi, who's also producing grids. You can have all of these accounts as reference and always keep comparing with the industry. What are they trying to do? These are my major takeaways for doing Instagram marketing. Apart from this, if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to address them. And I hope you guys have learned something value addition in today's class. Generally, we take about 14 hours to teach this content. So I've just given you highlights of how can you go about it. You can learn all of these concepts in much in detail. And for all those people who are into the B2B segment, more than Facebook, start relying on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is a major platform for you. So if you're running a campaign for 10 days, I assure that ad is seen not by a similar person for more than 2-3 times. You can control the frequency. So that's something that you can opt for. Is there any tool or plugin where you can post to all social media platforms from one place? Yeah, you can use Creator Studio, Buffer. You can use Later. You can use Sprout Social. All of these things can go directly at one time. Whenever I create ads, I get errors. Whatever your errors are, you can let us know. Engagement, can you elaborate, please? Any brand who wants people to like, comment, and share with their content is in context with engagement. Right? So if you want people to like your content, engage with your content, share your content, comment on your content, you would choose objective as an engagement. What about Google AdMob? Google AdMob, you can advertise through Google AdMob by using Google Ads. You need to contact them and learn how to set up with them. Farooq, you can get in touch with the organizers. They can provide it with you. AdMob compared with Facebook, see, AdMob now is slightly larger set of target audience because in India, 97% users use Google, right? So when you're doing app-based targeting, AdMob is something that you will rely on. However, if your audience is just restricted to Facebook, you can stick to that. In case if you have more budgets, then you can opt for AdMob as a space. Any particular questions? But every day I spoke about that. One of your client is doctors, lawyers, accountants, elite class of people. Start advertising people who prefer high value goods. These are the set of audiences that you can have. Best time to segment to deliver an ad, generally in the evenings between 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. What would you suggest? Facebook or Instagram as per market? Instagram is best people for market. Absolutely yes. For getting SEO projects, which targeting you recommend? Any business who has a website. So anyone who's a website owner, you can choose that website owners through something called as behaviors. My microphone is on, Ashraf. Marketing e-commerce product is profitable through Instagram, Facebook, or Google Ads. Instagram initially, eventually once you have earned enough of money, then you can start doing on Google Ads because competition on Google Ads is too high. Ideal audience size is about 1 lakh to 6 lakh people. What is organic reach? Difference between organic reach and organic reach are the same. There's a difference between organic reach and paid reach. When you pay money, your ad is shown to maximum number of people. That's paid reach. When you normally push content, that is organic reach. Any more questions, people? I'll be more than happy to answer them. I want to show an ad to MP or an MLA in India or largely politicians. Is it possible? I don't think so because they don't handle their own Instagram pages or profiles. So I don't think so that's possible. You can post content which is like did you know, a hack, benefits of doing something, a checklist, a blog article, a 30-second video bite. These are the things that you can take care of. My clients are class owners. How can you reach out to them? Just start advertising to people who are into education industry. What is the best way to define an audience that need a website? Any business requires a website these days. So particularly, there are chances that people might have a website, but you still advertise to them. But smaller setups is the one would definitely need one. Larger setups may already have one. For B2B, which ad is important? LinkedIn, obviously. Which is important? Branding or promoting the product? Both at the same time, 60-40 is what you can opt for. If FB charged on impressions, it's generally charged on cost per click, but impressions is a part of it. How to calculate pricing for our clients? Whatever the cost is, try gaining 20-30% more. So the costing can be visible in the budget section. Is there a way to earn Facebook like Google AdSense? Yes, there's something called as Facebook monetization. For a small business based on Instagram, is it okay if we go with similar audience to directly target ideal buyers? Yes, it's completely fine. Can I do a paid campaign in US and Germany as well from India? Yes. MK Mathur, it's dependent on both. I missed the webinar. Yes, you can. This will be genuine. Yes. What sort of advertisement should a wildlife photographer have to create? Acha, buddy, what do you want? Do you want people to know your brand, or like people? Do you want to get famous? If you want to get famous, then start advertising, saying, "Hey, this is the space wherein you can, you can check out my work. I have shot a tiger, I've shot a deer, I've shot a, a rhinoceros and stuff." Try adding value, and then start advertising to people who are interested in National Geographic and people interested in adventure-based photography and wildlife photography. That's how you can start advertising for that. I skipped the first few. You'll get the recording. Best round to market. LinkedIn for sure. Siddhi, I hope that answers the question. Hashtag make ads in PetSense. Paid ads, yes, they do. Educational psychology expert. Yeah, just make them feel comfortable to have psychological sessions or counselor-based sessions. Can we estimate the number of clicks? Yes, absolutely yes. The budgeting section on the right side will show that to you. How is advertising on IndiaMart for B2B? Decent. FB advertising for moving company in Toronto, which type of audience? Moving company. Yeah, so you can target people who are away from their hometown and they frequently change their residences. Which one is better, Google AdWords, Facebook ads? Facebook ads in the initial stage, eventually you can move on to Google. In LinkedIn, you use a paid account. What is the major goal we get there? Leads. Prem, I hope that answers your question. Instagram shop can only be set up in India if you have Facebook support. If not, then you can't do that. Difference between page likes and page followers. Likes are the people who are interested in your like. Followers are the people who will love to see your content, but they may not like your page. They just follow your content. And when you like a page, there is a chance that a competitor brand can also advertise to you. What an ideal cost per click? $10. How do you link a Facebook page to an Instagram page? That can be done via your phone. Unfortunately, I cannot show you that. Please do one seminar on monetization. Over to the organization for that. MKG, if you can ask your question once again, I'll be more than happy to answer. Type account on Facebook ads, business manager and normal account. Can I have only editor or observer account? Yes, you can. Suppose I invest for page likes, thus now you get 90% authentic likes. Siddhi, I answered your question. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your space. Page likes. Can you go on this, Harsh Gupta, can you go on this page called as Psychology Today on Facebook? You'll find enough of instant articles over there. Unfortunately, I cannot show them via laptop. Reason being, they are not accessible on laptop. So guys, I'm done with Q&As. You guys can get in touch with me on my Instagram handle, Aditya K. Shastri. That's where you can find me, or maybe you can ask me questions via an email. Hope you guys had a great time in understanding this entire session. That's my Instagram handle. You can get in touch with me. Thank you so much, Control FI Reseller Club. It was an amazing time to address you guys. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I hope there was a value addition in your life. In case if you have any more doubts and questions, feel free to reach out to the organizers. They'll be more than kind to get us connected. So thank you so much once again, and thank you so much for being a patient audience. It was really amazing to address you all.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for your valuable time. I'm very confident that this was a great session. It was very interactive. We had our clients very engaged and asking a lot of questions. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We're very happy with the kind of engagement we received, and any questions you all have, as Aditya mentioned, please feel free to reach out to him or to us, and we'll follow up with him and get your answers to you as soon as possible. We will also be sharing a recording of this webinar post the event. So a lot of you asked that. Just wanted to let you guys know. Thank you again. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.